I just assumed that O.Robert&Co was just going to be a homeware brand that will sell homeware fragrances, but now I'm collaborating with smaller businesses looking at issues around sustainability, um, looking at issues around Black women in business, and trying to get um, a better understanding as to how I can then help other people. I just, funny enough, thought it was going to be a very selfish but lonely journey, but it actually hasn't been that. It's been the complete opposite. It was moving. So I have somebody that helps with my social media, and um shout out to Black Cherry actually. She posted 3 images of 3 new candle scents, and O.Robert&Co, the brand name, was a moving image across those pictures.
Is it?
Yeah. As well as the title of the collection being called 3.0.
Yeah.
And there was just something about it that was so slick that just said, yeah, I can't believe that's my brand. Like even me looking at it I was just like, wow, the simplicity of it, but how impactful it looks. I don't know how to explain it, but it's simple, but you know when you see it, you know that's O.Robert&Co. It's the weirdest feeling. And for the first time I felt like I was looking at my branding from the outside looking in rather than that's me. I was more looking at it as a customer. And would I be intrigued by that? And the answer is yes. So I'm very, very happy and that you mentioned that, because it can be used in both ways. It's a static and moving image. So yeah.
And I guess that's the ultimate win. I think if you can have something that can do both, then it's like you're laughing. I think creatively is not necessarily the most easiest thing to do, but it is something that I kind of like I saw straight away. So although people look at it and think, oh, it's quite simple, there is kind of like there is a story and there's layers to it as well. Yeah, so that's it really. That's how we kind of connected. And then I mean, literally, I think you're coming up to your first year next month for the logo.
Yeah. So next year is, yeah, that's funny actually, because obviously when O.Robert&Co launched, I just wanted to create a buzz and very quickly. So I just quickly done something on Canva.
Ooh.
Some squiggly writing on Canva with like pink backgrounds with black text.
Yeah.
And remember having the conversation with you guys and saying, oh, but what about my previous branding? Like it, obviously it looks so dead. And then now this is coming. Should I just delete all those pictures? And you guys saying, no, don't do that. Show people the journey.
Yeah.
And how far you've come. And I think that was really, really important, because yeah, although O.Robert&Co coming soon, just the squiggly writing on Canva, it created some buzz. But then when the actual branding was out there, and I remember speaking to Beth and saying, when are you doing this post to show people that the branding has changed?
Yeah.
When are you doing this post? Like, what time she'd be like, oh, don't worry, I'm doing it at 6 in the evening.
Okay.
I used to think, why is she being so specific about the times that she posts? And obviously because she would been watching the activity and all that stuff. This is the reason why you get people to do jobs that they're good at, and you kind of stay back and you do what you're good at. So she posted at, I think it was 6 o'clock,
Yeah.
and then tagged you guys in, and the reception on that alone. And I think, remember having a conversation with one of my friends who, funny enough, I referred to you guys, Chris.
Yeah.
He was saying, as soon as he saw the logo, he said, I don't know why, but I see big things for this business. it looks like you mean business here.
Mm.
And he was like, yeah, I need these guys' details so I could get my own branding for my own business sorted. So yeah, that alone kind of made me feel like, okay, yeah, this worked. And I'm happy that that connection was made, because I think up to now we'll still be using that squiggly logo from Canva. And then on top of it, I don't technically own that. So there was that issue as well. So yeah, to have a logo to say that's my own and no one can copy it, was very important. So
You said Beth. Your name's Beth, right?
hmm?
So she's still with you now as like your social media.
Yeah, so she's still my social media manager, and she's also worked on helping build the website as well. So the thing is, if I could do it all myself, I would, but having a full-time job as well, 9 to 5:30, is very, very difficult. And one of the things that I think setting up a small business people seem to take for granted is your social media, your branding, all of these things need to be consistent.
Mm.
And sometimes you just have to accept where your weaknesses lie and say, okay, do you know what? I'm going to hand this over to somebody that knows what they're doing, that can continue to drive the business. And I stick at what I'm good at, which is the vision, um, which is also even down to testing scents, like testing new products. That takes a long time. I think people seem to think, oh, you just pour a bit of wax in, melt some wax, pour some liquid in, and that's it. There's so many different things that come into candle making. There's testing your ratio to your wax load, to testing your burn, like your burn test on a candle. Is that candle going to blow up if I left it burn for 10 hours? What does the first 4-hour burn look like? There's so many different things. So I can't do it all. I physically can't.
Yeah.
And I just didn't want a brand to go downhill because I can't manage the social media aspect, and even just keeping my followers intrigued and to a certain extent entertained as
Mm.
well. Because I think that's partly what social media is about. A lot of people just scroll through and they're just scrolling, but something on your page has to stand out for them to capture, for you to capture their attention. And if your page is dormant,
Yeah.
you easily lose followers.
Mm.
So yeah, I for anybody that's planning to go into business, really think things through. Don't start something and then stop halfway.
Yeah.
Um, and when you need the help, ask for it. Those will be my tips, I think.
Wow. No, that's cool. That's kind of at the end though, but that's good.
Oh, sorry.
No, no, I love it. I love it. So like, let's dial it back a little bit, right?
Mhm.
I want to know what made you. Why did you start? What's the reason behind the brand? What's the journey? Like, what got you from there to here? Like, what's your why?
Gosh. Okay, dialing it all the way back to 7-year-old Limara.
Okay.
Do you remember that show, Changing Rooms? And they would have to come in and change a room that in someone's house within 60 minutes. It was like,
Yeah.
I think it was either called Changing Rooms or Room Makeover or something like that.
It was, but they did the whole house.
Yeah, they did the whole house
Yeah, yeah,
in,
yeah.
yeah.
With the guy that has
I,
the snazzy dressing, the snazzy colored suits.
what was his name? Something, Llewellyn Bowen, something like that.
Yeah, I saw him the other day. Actually, he still
Oh,
dresses.
really?
Yeah, like
He's
crazy.
very loud, isn't it, and eccentric.
I know.
I used to be obsessed with that show.
Is it?
Um, I don't know where or why, because I used to think that people that do interior design or people that are creative
Mm-hmm.
need to be able to draw. I cannot draw to save my life. So I didn't understand why that was something creative that I enjoyed doing. I always just thought I was very much academic and nothing else. But I always seemed to be infused by the show. And I remember also being young and critiquing other people's homes and their interiors and
Yeah.
think, why would Auntie put that like that? Why is that color? You know, especially with Africans, we like loud colors, right? So you'll go into people's homes and you've got like, let's say, a narrow hallway and they've painted it pink or yellow, and you're just thinking,
But
nah,
you got to
work.
you got to excuse the times. This was the 90s. Yeah.
Yeah, so to
So
put more context, yeah, it was the 90s. So, but still, for me, I just used to think that's a bit wild. You could do, because back in the 90s, Magnolia was the white that we
yeah.
now everybody uses. And then cream carpets was like back then was the grey carpets that everybody loves in their homes today. So
Ah,
I just remembered, why don't people go for those types of neutral colors? Because it brightens the space. And then I remember my mum going away somewhere. And for her birthday, I didn't have much money, but I thought, let me paint her corridor
yeah.
as, yeah, as a birthday present.
How old are you?
About 9.
Okay, getting there.
So when I got paint, roped a few of my friends in and we painted the hallway, and she absolutely loved it.
At
I
night.
mean, that's when yeah, at 9.
All right, getting there.
And that's when I got that bug for creation. And then from there, it just, I suppose, spiraled. And then my mom started going into property development, and then she would help me or enlist me to be project manager. So
Mm,
she'll be like, when it comes to creativity, I don't know anything about that. You do it. So I suppose my mom allowed that creative side to come out a bit more. Um, and then from there, I started getting more smaller projects, people asking me to come in and do their rooms. And actually, during the COVID lockdown, I actually did a few projects remotely. So basically, sourcing the materials, sourcing the colors, sourcing the flooring, dropping it down to them, and then them getting on with the work, and then us kind of discussing, okay, how far along are you? Okay, now that things are in place, let's look for bedding and all those little bits and pieces. So I came in at the end just to spruce it up or dress the room.
yeah.
And I managed to do that during the lockdown as well. So I just thought, but there are times when I can't do these things. I can't go onto sites or do these big projects because of COVID. But what else can I do? How can I expand my offering?